Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting blend for you guys once again, in theme with the flowers and fruit of this month. I have another Tea special tonight. It's called Shanghai Blend, and let me tell you guys, this thing is already smelling incredible. So I am ready, willing, and able to get into this tea with you guys because it is already smelling really, really nice. Let me just refresh my page because I'm not getting any. There we go. Hey, Snail, welcome. And I see Ma has come on as well. And I think that's Zam's icon. Yes, hey Ma, welcome. So tonight's blend is another Tilula tea. This one, Shanghai Blend, has pan-fried green tea, which is the Chinese tea. Then there's sencha, which is a Japanese green tea. It's got dried ginger, lemongrass, safflowers, peach pieces, and peach and lemon flavoring. So this is a very, very tangy blend. And it is, yeah, Zam, you are just in time. Glad you can make it. And you can smell the zest in it. But what's interesting is that there's a very strong buttery scent to it, which I was not expecting because usually you get that buttery flavor from like white teas or like jasmine, silver needle, and stuff like that. This one has a very buttery scent right off the bat. I'm assuming that's because of the fruit blends with the green tea. But we'll see how it actually comes out. So let's take a look at the dry blend. You'll see it's a very bright green with flecks of, well, actually there's two separate types of green. It is showing up a little bit on the Facebook camera, not so much on the Twitch. But if you were able to see it, there's like light and dark green. So let me pull out a couple of pieces. That is not a tea. There we go. Okay, so we got one of the light and one of the dark. I hope the Oh, hi, Kiara. Welcome. Nice to see you. What was this? Glad to know. Please don't hesitate to let us know if there is any way that we can help. Oh, you're talking to Ma. Okay, never mind. So I don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, okay. So you can see the difference between two green teas. The one on the left kind of looks like lemongrass. That it's not lemongrass because the lemongrass here is much, much brighter, you can tell. But this one is a lemongrass. This one looks kind of greenish brown in the camera. I'm trying to make it. Wow, I need like a white piece of paper or something. Here, let me try. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see it a lot better. You can see the one on the left is light green. That is the sencha versus the Chinese pan-fried green on the right, which is a darker green. So this one is going to be a little bit balanced on how to steep. So I steeped it as you would any other green tea, a little bit lighter than the 180. I think I did around like 170, about 170, 175. Those little bit of degrees makes a lot of difference. I steeped it for about 3 minutes, and so I was able to get out a lot of the tea steeped without over steeping. And then you have big chunks of fruit right here. I believe this is what dried ginger. Oh, peach pieces. This is probably a peach piece. Let me break it off because it also might be ginger, but usually ginger is not that big when you try to break it. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely a peach piece right here. Mm. And I realize that I've been eating a lot of these, a lot of these Tulula teas lately, and no, I still have not gotten my my dried papaya pieces for snacks. Probably tomorrow. I keep forgetting, but that is definitely a peach piece. Very juicy, very delicious. Tastes like candy. Really, really nice. And then we have the safflower, which I was able to pick up on my first try. Hopefully I don't drop it. There we go. So it's a nice red piece. Can barely see the coloring on there. I think my TV light is a bit too yellow for it. But we're looking at, you can see how red it is in the camera. And after everything is steeped, there's a, whoa, it's dripping more than I thought. But you can see the differences in the blend. The green tea has expanded quite a bit. Let me see if I can pull out a nice big piece. There we go. So it is cut up a little bit. So you see like small chunks of leaves, but hey, Mona Lisa, welcome. So you can see they're small, so they're not like really big cuts of leaves. But everything is looking good. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well also. So that being said, we've taken a look at the dry and the wet leaves. So that being said, let's go ahead and look at the actual tea itself. Now the liqueur is very, very clear, bright yellow. You can see my fingers all the way through it. There's sediment in there. I can see it floating around. You probably can't really see it at home because it's very dusty inside. That's usually going to be an indication of a lot of flavor. And it's going to add to the texture of the liqueur, so there's probably going to be some mouthfeel. But let's go ahead and take a taste so that we can look into it. Oh, that is nice. The fruit just kind of jumps out right at you. It's very powerful, but not overpowering the green tea. Oh yeah, I love green teas with fruit in it because you get like green teas blend very well with fruit. It doesn't overpower it, and depending on what green tea you use with what fruit, you get a nice balance. In this case, the peach and the lemon flavoring are they're very present, but behind it, the balance of the green tea, both Japanese and Chinese, are kind of supporting it. So it gives it a nice ground to lay on. And I'm getting like this little sensation. Now, if you choose either or, you usually get a smoky kind of grassy flavor for the Chinese green tea, especially when it's stir-fried like this. But this one is actually mixed up with the Japanese green tea, the sencha, which usually gives it a saltier seawater and seaweed kind of flavor. So in this case, you don't get a full-blown flavor of either one, but you're getting a nice support for the fruit itself. So in other words, the green tea kind of loses its individual flavor, and it gives it all up for the fruit. So right now, the main portion that we're tasting is the fruit, and it's absolutely delicious. This is the kind of fruit tea that I would ice and drink cold because it's absolutely delicious. Now there is a little bit of a thickness to the tea. Um, there's not much of a mouth feel. Like it doesn't feel grainy. Um, it doesn't feel like anything except when you drink it, you have a certain thickness to it. There's no way you can convince me to have green tea. Oh, I'm going to try. You've actually had green tea without knowing it. It was a couple of years ago, but I remember it was what was that blend? It was an Adagio blend. Um, but I remember you liked it. It was one of the fruitier ones, so you didn't really you didn't really care. I'm trying to remember which. It was probably like the citron green or something like that. It tasted like orange, which which I remember you liked on that one. But yeah. So that being said, this one is very much a flavorful, bright kind of flavor to it. It reminds me of summer. It's the kind of blend that it lifts you up and keeps you a little bit energetic. It's also caffeinated because all green tea is caffeinated. It's going to be about moderately caffeinated, but not like high in caffeine. As far as saying how much there is no clear answer to say. It's always going to be complex. Now I love like right behind it, on the back end, there's a bit of a honey sweetness to it that I'm picking up. It might just be because I still have a little bit of the peach stuck in my teeth. But on the back end, it's a really nice honey-like sweetness to it. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. There's kind of like, there's a quality that it's always a little bit hard to, hey Sophia, welcome. It's always hard to define, but if you drink white tea, there's a certain kind of quality that's like a sweet, semi-metallic to it, and that's what I'm picking up here. That might be because of the green tea with the safflower. It gives it a more perfumey flavor, and then you attribute that to that aftertaste. But in this case, like it's rare for a green tea to have it because a green tea tends to be stronger and kind of like eliminates that first piece of sweetness and delicacy that white teas have. But this one has a hint of that. It's on the back end, but it's really, really nice. I'm going to go ahead and take the Thomas taste. Just because, like, I feel like I'm heading toward that anyway. But yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so it's a semi-sweet fruit, a semi-sweet fruitiness that's like really, it's vibrant at first glance, and then it kind of tapers off. The fruit like hits you at the beginning, but then the green tea kind of settles in, and it the fruit part burns quickly, but the green tea behind it burns a little bit slower. This is not that astringent at all. There is a little bit of astringency to it. You're going to find a lot of green teas have it. So I would say if you were going to make this iced, add a little bit of sugar to get some of that sweetness. To get some of that bitterness out. If you don't like it, if you like the bitterness, keep it in. Like by all means, it's all about experimentation and finding out what you do like, so that you can brew it and repeat anytime you want in the future. I love how this flavor kind of like sits there, and it just like hangs out on the tongue. It's really, really nice, kind of soothing. And it's the kind of tea that like keeps you alert and awake and aware. The flavor fades very, very slowly. I'm still tasting my last slurp. And as I breathe in, I can taste a little bit more of the astringency. It's kind of like on the back of my throat, but it's nice. Like, it's not overpowering at all. I'm wondering how that will hold up as it cools. For those of you who were with me a long time ago, I was doing an hour-long. I was doing more hour-long streams, and I used to taste how it was at the beginning when it was hot and fresh versus how the flavor would maintain. Oh, excuse me, as it cools. And I was always kind of like, I was always interested in the progression because you could taste it as you go along from hot to warm to cool to room temperature, whatever your room happened to be. And I can't really say it for this one yet because, I mean, it's going to take a while to cool off. But I do get the feeling that it'll maintain that flavor throughout. Because usually fruity green teas maintain their flavor pretty well. I don't foresee this diminishing in quality at all. In the first hit of the flavor, it tastes like candy, like it's straight up sweet, but not like last week when I said that it was kind of like the candy lipstick, strong. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Like there was the candy lipstick when we were kids. They had the little silver wrapper. You just bite it off and chew, and it had that like taffy, sweet flavor to it. That one had that. This one doesn't. This one is more natural sweet, honey sweet. It's not as accented. It's not as prolific. It's nice and evenly. What was this? Can you please remind me what fruits are in this? So it's got chunks of peach, and then it's got peach and lemon flavoring. It's also got lemongrass in it, so that actually adds to the lemon flavor. Lemongrass tends to be more of an even-toned lemon. Not as sour as actual lemon, but it gives you that sensation of like sweet kind of lemon pledge scent. That gives you a good, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a nice balance for when you want to add flavor to something. Like I like lemongrass tea, but I always preferred it as an add-on versus a mainstay. Lemongrass tea is very good for you. It has a lot of like health benefits. If I remember correctly, and I'm really testing because I was not prepared to talk about lemongrass. If I remember correctly, the lemongrass was good for metabolism, and I believe, not medical advice, mind you, but I believe it had properties of, what was this, anti-inflammatory properties? I have to go back and like do my research because it's been quite a while since I've even talked about lemongrass. And I know that it was supposed to like settle your stomach. If that makes, if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a long time since I've studied up on it. But yeah, so this has some really good health benefits, not just with the lemongrass, but the green tea tends to help if you have a cold. Green tea and honey does wonders. Then you add like the fruit from the vitamin C, and you get some good. Hey Val, welcome. Thanks for joining. So whenever you drink a nice blend like this, you get all different kinds of health benefits, and it tastes good, you know? So I always highly recommend whenever you have a cold or something, green tea and honey, or black tea in the morning to give you a kick. But yeah, like it's all about what you enjoy throughout the day. That's strange. It looks. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. There was like all the sediment looks like it's settling. I don't see as much in the liqueur. So I'm assuming there are heavier particles that sunk down. Probably the powder from the flavoring. But I see it from the top, which is pretty awesome. And I see as it cools down, I'm getting a little bit more of the astringency and a little bit of a coppery kind of flavor to it, like a metallicness. The fruit is still very prevalent. The green tea is becoming more of a mainstay as it cools off, which is kind of surprising because usually as a tea cools off, the sweetness becomes more profound. So you're getting. I was expecting the fruit to become stronger than what it was, but I'm actually tasting the green tea a little bit more than before. I mean, the fruit is still there, and it's having like an effect on the sides of my tongue, and that wasn't there before. Before, like, it was just a straight up flavor that it was very drinkable, but now it tends to be sectioning off, if that makes sense. Like, the astringency is hitting the back of my throat. Metallic taste is like on the very, very sides under my tongue, if that makes sense. On top is the sweetness. Overall, I'm getting a lot of the fruit flavor with the green tea that's kind of like blended well on the top. But I was not expecting that kind of section. It's very strange. Like I've never, I can't say I've never experienced it before. I have, but I've never spoken about it before. And I don't know if that's like a genetic thing that only a few people get. I'm gonna have to talk to Tilula about that. See if they ever had that experience. Because like it starts off overall like just one flavor with complex notes here and there. But now that it's cooled off, it's kind of sectioned. It's a little bit strange, but not in a bad way. Yeah, I'm tasting kind of like under my tongue now. That's very interesting. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I like it. It's really interesting, and it's really like waking up my senses somehow. But yeah, like this is something that I was not really expecting, and something that I don't think I've ever spoken about. At least, well, definitely not recently. It might have happened years ago, because I do remember I've had this experience from time to time, but not very often. Yeah, it's very strange. I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk to somebody and see if that's an actual thing. Because I mean, like I'm experiencing, so I don't think I'm the only one in the world. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor for questions and comments. Anything you want to talk about, now is the time. As I always do, I'm going to answer my sister's question, what would I pair this with? So given that this is a very fruity blend, um, it's easier to pair this with a dessert. I would go with, first thing that comes to mind is stroopwafels. Something that's sweet, kind of grainy, cracker-like. Um, Something that can complement the sweetness to it. Um, I would I would probably favor the caramel versus the chocolate. Um, Mainly because like the I think a dark chocolate might pull out the bitterness of it. What is the name of the tea in the company? This is a Tilula tea. This is called Shanghai Blend. I will go ahead and post the link in the description. So afterwards, if you want to come in and check it out, be my guest. I highly recommend this. And I know that you love like looking for healthy teas and stuff to try out, and this is definitely one that you'll enjoy because it's not an overpowering green tea. This is the kind of green tea that I would give to people who are starting out drinking green tea, but don't like the general, like let's say they don't like gunpowder, something that's very basic but strong, something with a very strong vegetal content. I would start them off with something like this that's more on the sweeter blend. It's easier on the palate and kind of tends to wean you towards green teas. This one it's one of those teas that it'll definitely encourage people to try other things. Mm. And I love how this is like maintaining the flavor throughout. I do taste more of the astringency, specifically on the tip of my tongue now. It's not overpowering. My wife is very sensitive to astringency, so this is something that I would encourage you to drink hot and not let it cool off, because if you let it cool off, the astringency does get a little bit strong, but not for those of you who are like me who have either a low sensitivity or a high tolerance of it. This is perfect. You should be able to palate it, no problem. I mean, there have been times where I've had green teas that I got through the full stream, and then afterwards, like you get that last sip, and it's like, like after I've given it my highest remarks, that last piece is just like, okay, here's all the astringency that we had left in the cup, all in one swallow. Which, I mean, if you drink tea slow enough, it's bound to happen. But like this one is definitely not kicking me, if that makes any sense. I mean, then again, it's also far from being room temperature. It's still kind of hot. So like and I don't think it's gonna get to room temperature because there's not a whole lot left. So, definitely I would recommend this, as a nice introductory green so that you can, if you're curious, you can start finding other blends that are similar, or you can venture out and find like something that's more of a green tea. Something that you say, okay, well, this is good. I think I'm ready for the next step, kind of a deal. I, like so many others, I had a difficult time tolerating green teas, but once I got the flavor for it, and once I've trained my palate to accept it, I would never go back. Like, I love green teas, especially when you get a sencha just right. It's just, it's so nice and creamy. That's probably where that butter flavor was coming from, now that I think about it. Like, the sencha is usually more on the buttery side, but it depends on how it's created, because a lot of the other And what is it? It's the Girokuro. Girokuro is a kind of Japanese black tea, but it's higher in quality. So that has the more of the buttery flavor. But this one, I think that the Japanese green is kind of where that was coming from at the beginning. And I can't believe I didn't think about it until just now. But yeah, this is absolutely delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. This has been an incredible flavor. So I'm going to post the link at the end of this to at the description. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. I think you'll like it. So until next time, have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.